Hey guys, I'm on set here in Kansas City shooting an interview today, and in this video we're going to talk about everything it takes to get this easy 2-camera setup look.
Good morning, my good people. It is 5:25 and I'm about to head out to Kansas City. We're going to get this shoot done with Reverend Stan Gleason. Man, I greatly respect. He's the Assistant General Superintendent of the UPCI. So, may not mean anything to you, but I've got my bag packed, which I'm probably going to do an entire video about everything that I've taken here. But that's packed, and then I've already got the truck packed with all my gear. So, I'm going to get on the road and try to get there, about 9 o'clock, maybe a little after 9 o'clock. Give me plenty of time to set up. I've really brought more than enough, as far as lights and stuff, but it was all convenient for me to bring, and I don't know where I'm shooting. I wasn't able to do any location scouting really. I've been to the church before, but I haven't been in their offices, so again, I don't really know what I'm getting into. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit in this video about location scouting and stuff like that, but anyways, let's get on the road.
All right, I'm here on location. It is a little after 9, and I walked around with Pastor Gleason around the campus and saw his office, but they actually have a cafe that I think is gonna work perfect. Although the audio is gonna be a little more echoey than I would like, I think kind of the setup and the vibe is gonna be a lot better, a little more space. So that's where we're gonna load in. So I'm gonna start loading in. And then get everything set up. Also, my friend, I posted something on Instagram, and my friend Austin Smith hit me up. So I think he's actually gonna come up and help me shoot it, maybe even set up if he gets here. I think he'll be here in time to help me set some stuff up. So I'm gonna put him to work. But yeah, so we're gonna get loaded in and kind of get a look going. Look who showed up, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Austin Smith. I posted on Instagram and he saw it. We've known each other for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, show me your setup here.
Yeah, man.
He brought his rig.
It's a Blackmagic 6K G2. I have an 18-35 on there. Basic setup. I have a Rode mic. I have a VB 155 by Small Rig on there. What's unique about this is I'm able to have it on a swivel, because that's the pain point of the Blackmagic is the screen you covered up. So the screen on this one lifts up, so I'm able to but I have a 2 terabyte SSD on there. I can record straight to that.
Nice.
And that's basically it. It's kind of just like a rig together. This is actually a monitor mount that I've used with a backpack.
Nice.
So. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a huge rig, but I mean, it's manageable, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's handheld but professional, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can go, a handheld thing.
Yeah.
Or like this, or kind of sling it down, so.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, this is the A7 IV with the 16-35 G Master, and I've got a variable ND filter on here, and I'm just running the Movo dual mic because it's got mics back and forth. And it's always nice to bring a cart. You always need a cart, and it's great to have a second shooter too. The unexpected blessing. So I brought more stuff than I need. We'll walk through the gear that I brought, but yeah, we're gonna see what kind of angle we can get. I like this wall in here. It's a little louder than I would like in here, just the surfaces, but I think the aesthetic is good. So let's get set up. All right, so first of all, I want to say thank you to Austin for coming out and actually shooting this for me. I was like, this would have been a vlog shot. So I'll link his channel. He's got a personal channel, and actually he's a video producer for a plumbing company. Really cool. So I'll link his stuff below, but I'm gonna walk you through kind of our setup. So this is a 2-camera setup. We have an A cam and a B cam. So for A cam, I'm using the Sony a7 IV with a 16 to 35 G master. So it's at 2.8, and I've got it zoomed all the way into 35 millimeters. And then over here we have the Sony a7C with a 56 on it, f1.4. So I'm gonna back the aperture down a little bit lower. Some people like to match the apertures, but I don't mind this being a little more shallow because it's kind of a tighter shot. So those are the cameras. So now our scene, we are here in the cafe area, and so I've pulled the chair off the wall a little bit to try to create a little bit of depth, and then we have the kind of plant that Austin grabbed for me, so to kind of give the shot a little bit of depth to it, a little more character, and then we have this plant that was already here in the cafe area. And then, so I want to talk about lighting, because to me, lighting is the thing that takes me the longest and I'm not very good at, but is to me one of the most important things when you kind of are doing this. So first of all, we have our key light. This is our main light. I'm using the Amaran 100X. This is a great light, really inexpensive. And then a 4-foot softbox here. So really nice big light. And then just on a C-stand. And then I have this really cheap monitor. This is like it's a bigger monitor. And the thing about it for me, I just use it for framing. I don't care about colors or anything like that. I'll set that up, but I just have a large monitor so I can just kind of review it a little easier, especially if I'm shooting by myself. But Austin came up, so it helps. So that's our main light. And then over here is kind of an unlikely fill light. So we ended up leaving some of the architectural lighting on just because it ended up looking good. I didn't want like a super dramatic scene. But I had another light here, another Amaran aperture light, but I'm actually using that for the hair light just because it worked out better. This was my first idea for a hair light, but it's just not focused enough. So I just have this on just to pull the shadows a little bit off of the face of the subject. And then the last light, again, I don't know if he can get around here on the other side. So this is the 60X. So you probably can't see very well, but this thing is so small. It's like it's like the size of 2 of your fists together, right? It's a very, very small light. And I've got these little barn doors on there. So it's a very, very focused light that is hitting a hair light on the subject. And then I've got that on a C-stand as well. So those are the kind of the main lights, those 3 lights. And then I've added a little tube light here just to give us this kind of warm, almost like a practical light. There's no lamp or anything, but it just kind of gives a nice contrast. This is a little cooler lighting and this is a lot warmer. So in the background, it gives a little bit of that. So, and then again, we left this we turned all the lights on, but I'll turn those off and I'll come back and show you kind of what the lighting looks like. I'm gonna be facing the camera kind of at an angle where I'm not just dead on. And so this is our main light giving most of the light on my face here. Then this is just removing some of the shadows. And if you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see from that perspective, but this hair light is really illuminating this side. And again, just helping me pop off of the background. So that's kind of a basic 3 lighting setup. I mean, the only thing I would not necessarily recommend is this light as a fill light. It's not necessarily the best fill light out there. So that's lighting. Then audio. This is not, again, not the best setup for audio, but I could not find my field recorder. So I've got the a Sennheiser, and this is really important to me. These mics are great, like these micro, video. This is the Rode, I think, Video Go or something. It's a great mic, but as far as isolation, there's no comparison to this type of mic. It's very small, like miniature shotgun almost, to like this, the Sennheiser. Hey guys, I'm on set here in Kansas City shooting an interview today. And in this video, we're going to talk about everything it takes to get this easy 2-camera setup look. I think it's the MKE 600. If I'm wrong, I'll put some text and fix it. But the isolation on this is really good. What I like about this mic is I don't need a big setup. This has an internal battery, just a AA, and it just goes straight into your camera and gets really, really good audio. But for me, really important, vital on any kind of shoot like this, I always want 2 audio sources. So I have this is my main audio source that I'm going to use, and then I have this guy set up just in whatever event. If something happens, if this audio gets corrupted, I've got a second option. Now, you may say, well, why don't you use a lav or something? For me, if I can avoid it, I just like working with booming close to the subject. Lavs are great. I mean, that's probably like an industry standard. I just don't really use them as much, but I usually have a field recorder. I have a Zoom H4n that's got little XY mics that I use, but couldn't find it. So I've just got this going into B cam. So I've got audio with A cam, audio with B cam as a backup. So that's also really important. So that's really the basic setup. We just kind of staged this again where I could get some contrast Not too much where it's super dramatic because it's kind of like a talking head, and then try to get me off of the background and then added some color just to give it some more character. So as far as the setting, this I did not follow my own advice I'm about to give you, but Austin's here and he goes to church here. But when I would say if you're on location, always take a picture of where you're shooting before you touch anything. And as much as you can, don't use the surfaces for your gear. So, you know, like grab a tripod and drop it on a table, right? The worst thing you can do if you're shooting location, especially someone that's allowing you to come into their space, is scratch surfaces or not put stuff back. So I know it's a super practical thing, but when you're in a production mode, it's really easy to neglect those things. So yeah, now I'm going to switch over to this camera and I'm gonna have Austin cycle through the different lights and show you what impact the lights have on the scene. So we'll look at that. And then we're gonna be almost ready to roll. We're gonna kill the audio, well not audio, we're gonna kill the noise by unplugging that fridge. So it's make it as quiet as possible. There's actually some acoustic treatment in the ceiling, which does help in here. It's actually not quite as bad as I thought it would be, but it's still pretty echoey, so many hard surfaces. So but yeah, let's take a look at the shot. All right, so this is just the architectural lighting, which is not a lot. I just left a couple on. So we're gonna add our key light. So that's our main light source. All right, and so then he's gonna turn on the fill light, which is gonna kill some of these shadows. So if you notice, not a lot. Can you cycle that one on and off again, actually? So this is without our fill, so you can, it's a little too, to me it's a little too much contrast. Okay, so turn it on. All right, so that just takes some of those shadows away. Cool. And then why don't you add the practical light in the back? So the practical light is going to give, again, it's going to give some warmth to the scene. Just a little switch. Yep. So just kind of warm up that back wall and accentuate that. And then finally our hair light. So then the hair light is going to, again, just kind of help me pop off the background a little bit better and finish that up. So yeah, there we go. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not a professional at this. So this, you know, this, if you are a professional, feel free to comment below some things you would do differently. I'm totally open to that. I mean, I want people to learn. So that's the lighting setup. All right, guys, just finished shooting, and now the fun process of breaking down begins. So I think it went well. Felt good about the capture and the look of everything, and really smooth. So it is like 1:25, so not bad. I think it's gonna take about an hour and a half to break down and get back in the truck, and then I'll be on the road. So yeah, pretty fun. Thanks for watching, and thanks for checking this video out. If you have any questions about any of the gear I'm using or how I captured anything, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. And all of the gear that I'm using in this video, everything I used to create this is linked below. So everything is linked in the description of this video. So you can check that out, all the lights, cameras, lenses, all the trinkets and little pieces of gear. And one thing that didn't really get a shout out that I want to give a shout out before this is over is this small rig clamp right here. I cannot tell you how many of these I have and use. I probably have 20 of these clamps, and they are literally some of the most useful little gadgets. They can hold way more than you would think, and they're like 13 bucks. So as you can probably guess, they will be linked below. But yeah, man, on all these lights I'm using, everything is pretty budget conscious. This is a little more expensive, right? This camera and lens setup is pricier, but you know, this light, that light, this light, these are all pretty inexpensive pieces of gear in comparison to a lot of video equipment. So hopefully it's helpful to you. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. This is a new channel for me and a fun one, just kind of following some of the stuff that I get to do. Again, I do not consider myself a professional, know-it-all, perfect videographer. So there's probably some things in here that I made a mistake on, so don't take my word as gospel. There's tons of resources out there, great resources on YouTube for free. I'm just kind of bringing you along with the stuff I'm doing and how it's coming out. So yeah, it's been fun, it's a good shoot. And now the fun part of breaking down and getting it all back in the truck and loaded up and getting home begins. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. If you got any questions or comments, hit me up below. I'll be in the comments responding. So see ya.